Welcome to the first Premier League predictions I actually do before the season starts. So I always try and do a Premier League prediction, but I either start too late or I try to make the video as the freaking Premier League started already. So this is the first time I actually do it before the Premier League starts. The Premier League starts tomorrow with Arsenal versus Coventry. I'm gonna try and take this out either tonight or tomorrow morning, but I will try and take it out before the game starts. So we're gonna be discussing the Prem prediction. So the three relegated. I'm gonna make the whole table. I'm gonna go three by three. So we're gonna be able to discuss three like 20 through 17, and then stuff carry on from there. So we'll go over relegation, Golden Boot, most assist, Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Champions League winner, Europa League winner, Conference League winner, and I'm gonna throw in the Ballon d'Or too. So, we're gonna be going through all that. Let's get started with the Premier League prediction and the three relegated teams that I think that are gonna go down. So, this past season, the three that went up after a couple seasons, because I know that there was a couple seasons where the three that went up went straight back down. So this past season was the first season in a couple years where all three of the teams that came up didn't go down. So I think Leeds and Sunderland ended up staying up in the Prem. Sunderland had a hell of a season, and they even got a European spot. So they're in the Europa League. And then Wolves and West Ham are the ones that went down. So I think this season, I think it's gonna go back to the three goes up, three goes down. Cause I don't see that the teams. I know everybody said this last season with all the teams that went up, and then like how I said, Leeds and Sunderland ended up having a hell of a season. So but personally, me this season, I don't see all three of the teams, which is Hull, Ipswich, and Coventry. I don't see them staying in the Prem. I think this Prem, like this season, is gonna be a little bit too much firepower for them. So I have Hull at 20th spot. I have Ipswich at 19, and then I have Coventry at 18. So that's the first three. I think it's going to be the three that go up, go back down, unfortunately. So that was 20 through 18. I'm going to go 17, 16, and 15. So at 17, I have Sunderland. 16, I have Nottingham Forest. And then 15, I have Leeds. Sunderland, as I'll go through all three of these. Sunderland is going to have Europe, like how I mentioned. So I think the playing 2 games a week is gonna get to them. They'll stay up. I think they're barely gonna stay up, but if they're gonna try and go a little farther in the Europa League, they'll probably be struggling in the Prem. Nottingham Forest, I know they have a new manager and they still have Morgan Gibbs White and stuff. I think Nottingham Forest will still struggle. I didn't see a lot of activity in the transfer window for them to be back into the spots prior 2 seasons ago. And then Leeds 15th. I know they signed Wilson from Fulham, but I feel like they're still gonna be an iffy team. I think last season, I forgot what place they got. I think it was around there. I think that they're gonna be around the same area. They'll still stay up in the Prem. I think they did a good season last season, and I think they'll be back around the same area this season. We're going to do 14, 13, and 12. So at 14, I have Crystal Palace. I have Brentford at 13, and then I have Bournemouth at 12. So all three of these teams are about the same. They're like the mid-level. This is like the mid-level Prem part of the table. So I think Brentford's good. They still have Igor Thiago up on top as their striker. I don't think that he'll be firing as much as he did last season, so that's why I see that Brentford is would kind of struggle with goals. Bournemouth at 12. I think Bournemouth is always just gonna be in the middle. They'll start off the season good, but then they'll transition into an okay season. So I think that's where Bournemouth is. Brighton at 11th. I think Brighton. I know I've seen a lot of people have Brighton up higher than that. I've seen someone have freaking Brighton at 6th place. So I feel like Brighton's gonna have, because I know that they're in the Conference League también. So I'm pretty sure they'll try and win that because I mean it's a conference league. They're gonna try and win that, so it's gonna be the 2 games. Same thing like how I said for Sunderland. So they're gonna have 2 games a week, and if they're really gonna try and go for the conference league, that they're gonna prioritize that more than the Prem. All right, so we're gonna go 10, 9, and 8. At 10th, I have Newcastle, Fulham at ninth, and then Everton at 8th. Newcastle, they just lost a whole bunch. I think they lost mostly all their mid. I know Bruno G went to Arsenal, and then I know Joelinton. I think he's injured, but he was also rumored to go to Saudi. And then Tonali went to Spurs. They completely just destroyed their whole midfield. I know that it's a young team, new manager too. Eddie Howe left, so it's a new project, but I don't think that they're gonna be firing this Prem. So I put him at 10th. Oh, Fulham at ninth is fine. I think they got Arbeloa, the one that was at Real Madrid, the manager from Real Madrid. And then they got Gonzalo Garcia as their striker. So they have a full-on 9 now, and he looked good for Madrid last season, like in the times that he started or he played. So, and he's young. He's gonna be hungry for goals. So I think that they're gonna be perfectly fine at ninth. Yeah, because last season they had Raul Jimenez and they had Muniz. I think that Muniz would still be a backup to now that Raul left. I think he'll be a good backup for Gonzalo Garcia. So they have the team to at least be around like ninth, around there. Everton at 8th. I think Everton. I don't know why I want to put them at 8th, but I'm putting them at 8th. I think they're gonna have a pretty good season. I don't know if 8th gets you Europe. I don't think so. I think because last season I think almost 8 teams went to Europe because of how good the European teams or the Premier League teams played in Europe. So that's that. I have Everton there at 8th. I don't know why, but I feel like Everton's gonna have a good season. I have no explanation for that, but I just think Everton's gonna have a good season. So we're gonna do 7th, 6th, and 5th. At 7th, I have Spurs. 6th, I have Aston Villa. 5th, I have Man United. So Spurs at 7th. From being from being 17th place 2 seasons in a row, I think 7th is a good like upbringing. I know they had a hell of a transfer window. Tonali, Fernandez. Who else did they bring in? I think they're linked to Savinho right now and Marmoush. So they have a good transfer window at least. And it hurts to say this because like I'm an Arsenal fan, but they had a pretty good transfer window. I don't think that they're gonna be up in the top 4, top 5. I think they'll stay at 7th. That's still a really good season to compare it to the other seasons that they've had at 17th back to back. So I think they're gonna be okay. Spurs are gonna be okay. Aston Villa at 6th. I think they lost a lot of their players too. I know Tielemans left, and I know what's it called? Ollie Watkins was linked to Saudi, which I think they have a good striker. The one that played in the Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup. He looks huge. He looks good. I think they'll be okay. And then I think they signed Garnacho, and I think they signed other players. I don't personally rate Garnacho that much, but maybe Aston Villa, they'll still be around the sixth spot, and I think they'll have a good run in the Europa League too. At 5th, I have Man United. At 5th, I have Man United. I think that they'll drop off a little bit. I don't think they'll have the same input from Bruno. I'm not trying to bring the World Cup into it, but he didn't have a pretty good World Cup. I know this is the Prem, it's completely different, but I think that they'll have a bit of a drop off. Plus, they're playing Champions League. They're back in the Champions League, so they're gonna be trying to go back and forth. Also, have 2 games of the week, so I think Man United is probably gonna get 5th. We're gonna go 4th, 3rd. Actually, we're just gonna do top 4. I have Liverpool at 4th, Man City at 3rd, Chelsea at 2nd, and then I have Arsenal winning, going back to back. So Liverpool at fourth. I have no idea what they've done in the transfer. I know that they have Araujo and then they're linked to Barcola, but I have no idea what's going on there. I don't know if they're gonna sign him or not. I think Liverpool is gonna have a okay season. They're gonna have top. They're gonna be top four, so they'll still be in Champions League and stuff. And they just got the new a new manager, so Slot's gone. I think Liverpool's gonna be okay. I think they're gonna have a good a good season. They're a bit of transition team too, so I think fourth is a good place for Liverpool. Same thing goes to City at third. I have them at third because I have no idea the Community Shield game, and because the whole preseason, I know you can't go based off of preseason. Man City looked good, but then in the Community Shield, Arsenal played. They both teams were okay, but it ended up 3-0 to Arsenal. So I have no idea. I don't know. I think they'll have a drop off. Maresca is good. He's a good manager, but it looks like they're selling most of the players, and Rodri's gone, which was like their Pep Guardiola inside the field. So he's gone. Marmoush, like how I said, it looks like he's gonna be gone too. So is Savinho. I know those aren't starting players, but that's death that they're losing. So I still think Haaland's gonna have a good season. Cherki looked good last season. Who else? Doku, Semenyo. Like they have a good team. But I feel like the defense is the one that's gonna be lacking a bit. I don't trust Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz is. I've never rated him as a good defender. I know he won a lot. Like they won a lot with like a lot of their center backs like that are still there. But they also lost Stones. They lost Bernardo Silva. This is like players that helped them in like the Man City dynasty. So I think they'll have a drop off. I think they'll get third place. I have Chelsea at second. I know that they finished 10th, I think, last season. I have Chelsea at second because they only have the Prem to focus on, and all they have to do is just focus on the Prem and get results up. And they have good signings. They got good signings. I just don't have them. Like it'll still be like I was hesitant to put Chelsea second and Man City third because I still feel like it's the same thing that goes to Chelsea. Their defense, like they lost Cucurella and they lost Chalobah. So I think they have to. I feel like they have to get one like talisman in the back, like a center back or somebody like just to like a Thiago Silva, like how he was when he came to Chelsea and they won the Champions League that season. I think they need a leader in the back. I know Reece James is there, but I still think they need like a top center back in the back. So that's that. And then I still think they need a top goalie in the back. Sanchez is good, but he has his games. And then, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Enzo Fernandez tampoco. So I have no idea what's going to go on there. But they did get Morgan Rogers and they have Xabi Alonso as a manager. So it's going to be a good season for Chelsea. It's going to be way better than last season. And then last but not least, I have Arsenal going back to back. I'm an Arsenal supporter. Maybe this is just biased. But I still see Arsenal a little bit higher than everybody else and plus everybody's gonna kind of go through a transitional season. So Arsenal, Arteta, they have to aprovechar the opportunity they have that they can go back to back. Right now, it's a start. It could be a start of a dynasty for the team. They just got Konza and they just got Bruno G. So I still wish we could have got an elite striker or an elite forward. Because we were linked to Vinny in that whole saga, but we didn't end up getting him. Solis looks good. I maybe this is one of my favorite players, and he's linked to move out. Martinelli, I think they should just keep him as a rotational player. Now that Trossard left too, but that's a separate video that I could do. But that's my Premier League team, like the Premier League table. Golden Boot, I think is still gonna be Haaland. I know it's boring, but I think Haaland's just he's still gonna be scoring goals. Most assist, I know last season was Bruno Fernandes. I think Odegaard looks sharp. He looked really good in the World Cup. He looked really good in the Community Shield. It looks like his flair is back, his composure, his ability to move the ball. I think he'll get the most assists. I think he'll be back this season. Player of the year, I was hesitant to go with Odegaard because he's gonna be the one dictating that whole midfield. I still think Rice is like that part of the midfield that just holds everything together, or that part of the team that just holds everything together. And if they do win the Prem, I think Rice will get Player of the Year this time. I don't see Bruno, like how I said in the table prediction. I don't see Bruno having the same season as he did last season. And Rice was really close to him in winning the Player of the Year. So I think Rice this season will take it. Golden Glove, I'm gonna do Raya again. It's just the Arsenal defense is just a beast. I know we're not gonna start the season off with Saliba, but we have Konza, we have Gabriel, Mosquera, Hincapi, Calafiori, White, Timber. It's just a stacked defense in the back. So I still think Raya's gonna get the Golden Glove. Young Player of the Year, I have Rio from Liverpool. I think now that Salah's left, like the winger spots is gonna be it's just gonna be his. And he looked really good last season in the cameos that he came on, or I think in the starts that he did. He looked really good. So if he keeps it up, he'll be the Young Player of the Year. Champions League. Actually, let's do Conference League first. Conference League. I did my research. I have Atlanta in the Conference League. I'll just skim through these. I have Atlanta winning the Conference League. It was between them or Brighton, but Atalanta, I think they'll take it. In Europa League, I have Juventus. So they'll taste European glory again. I think Juventus will take the Europa League. And then Champions League, I'm between two teams. I know everybody's gonna go for PSG and the three-peat. But I think if they really, and they just got Rodri, if they play their parts right, if they play like how Barca plays, I think Barca could take the Champions League this season. But I also have my bias, and I think that Arsenal could go all the way. So I'm between those two teams, but I'm gonna stick to one team, and I'll have Barca winning the Champions League, just because they look good, and they bought players in the positions that they need. I know they need a striker, but I feel like with what they have right now, it's enough to make it past. Maybe in January they can look for a striker. So I think Barca will win the Champions League, and that falls into the Ballon d'Or. I think I don't know if it just counts last season, because if it counts just last season, then it'll be between what I still think the Ballon d'Or, it's supposed to go to the best player in the world. I still think Mbappe is the best player in the world. He looked amazing in the World Cup. But he won the World Cup, and if Barca play good, and it goes to last season too, they'll probably give it to Yamal. So I'm pretty sure it's between Mbappe and Yamal, but I have a little bit lean more to Yamal. So I'm gonna stick to Yamal just so I could have a prediction. But that is my Premier League prediction. Excuse me. That's my Premier League prediction, and then across the world too, like a little bit with all the Conference League, Europa League, and Champions League, and then all the awards too. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys tomorrow for the review for the Arsenal game once I get home from work. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.